Oh, great. I guess we are live now.
Yes, we are.
Hi Ed, how are you?
Doing good, Charlene. Good to be here.
I know, right? How is it in the US right now?
Things are good. Things are good. I'm very curious to hear where people are tuning in from. So if you're calling in, please leave in the comments the location where you're tuning in from. Would love to hear from our participants.
Right, right. Yes, so hello everyone to the opening ceremony of Hedera Trilogy Hackathon 2025. Yeah, now I can see more viewers joining. Right. This is great. Is great. Thank you so much for your unwavering support to Hedera. And I think that is the reason why Hedera keeps on coming back with bolder and bigger hackathons. And there's more coming, okay? So just stick with Hedera and discover more. And yes, once again, thank you for your support. Okay, great, great numbers now. So, as Ed mentioned, as you join, please feel free to say hi and let us know where you're dialing in from around the world. Maybe a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. And I believe that this is such a great way to break the ice, per se, virtually, and make everyone comfortable as you listen in. Okay, good numbers. Sure. So if you have friends that would love to listen in, please feel free to share the link of this live session. Who knows if they also want to hack with you, right? It's great to hack with friends. Okay, great number. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, I think we have enough people. So let me take this time to officially welcome everyone to the opening of Hedera Hello Future Hackathon Trilogy, first chapter Origins. And I hope everyone will be clapping with me. Yay! Because I believe that this is worth clapping for. Because for everyone who has registered since June, imagine that, since June the wait is finally over and that now we officially open our hackathon today or tonight, wherever you are. Yep. So just to give you a quick note that everyone will be muted during this session, but later on during the presentation, I will be sharing more details about the upcoming interactive sessions in conjunction with this hackathon, such as the AMAs, aka Ask Mentors Anything. Yeah, exciting. So let me just quickly share what we're going to cover with this session. Can you hold on? Okay, so the contents will be a welcome address by our very own Ed, Hedera's head of developer relations, as you can see from the screen. Yes, and next is the hackathon timeline and overview. Then I guess this is most important, the four main tracks, the additional tracks, the bounties, and the prizes. Right. Yeah, next we'll be sharing about the resources and mentors. Of course, that's very important for your hacking as well. And the judging criteria and submission artifacts. And last but not the least, we'll be covering the submission password and the AMA form. So, of course, to start this opening ceremony, we'll be hearing an inspiring and insightful remarks from Hedera's head of developer relations. And you know what? I do believe that Hedera is really, really blessed with a lot of brilliant people because Ed, our man here, is the one who will give us the speech right now, just finished his master's in management from Harvard University just 2 months ago. How impressive is that, right? So let's hear it from him. Ed, the stage is yours.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Charlene. I appreciate that introduction. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. All right. And I love to see how international this crowd is. I'm hearing folks from, or I'm seeing folks from Nigeria, Chicago. I saw someone from Maryland. I'm also in Maryland. Folks from Germany, Denmark, Ireland, Singapore, and so much more. So, welcome everyone, and great to have you all here in this session opening this Hello Future Hackathon Origins chapter. So, I want to give you this bit of a presentation that is aspirational to reconnect with why we're dealing with this technology and building with this technology, right? Because there has been incredible innovation in the space over the past 15 years. If you've been part of Web3, part of crypto, you know that there's something new coming up, new opportunities that we can tackle with the technology. But unfortunately, the rest of the world is still caught up asking what's a Bitcoin, right? And is it for criminals? And so I think we all have a role to play here to educate and bring others along to build, hack, and educate them and let them know what are the possibilities that we can build with this technology, right? How can we use all that innovation and all those tools to build new and compelling solutions that are going to make the world more efficient? And it's very interesting because that mindset typically has come maybe from news and movies where, we saw it first with AI, where we were being programmed to focus on the risks and the downsides of the technology. But fortunately for AI, we've seen a shift to focus more on the utility and the benefits and the impact of that tech. I think we've gone through a similar type of cycle or a similar approach with Web3 and distributed ledger technologies, where the news programmed a lot of people to think, oh, this technology is probably for shady players. But I think we're in a very unique time and very interesting point in history where we're seeing that shift to focus on the value, the opportunities, and the things that we can build with the technology. I think we're seeing that positive shift to focus on the potential impact of what we can build here. So take advantage of this time that you live in, take advantage of this opportunity that we have in front of us to explore, to build, and to have fun creating these solutions that are going to have an impact on society. Now, why does DLT, why does Web3, why does crypto matter, right? And I think it's all about the problems that we're able to solve very effectively with this technology. Because today, the way that we operate, we have data in siloed systems. But as you all know, that data can be altered, it can be lost, or it can be disclosed in a selective manner. And I think with distributed ledgers, now we have that tamper-proof, verifiable data that allows for more transparency, allows for more data integrity without having third-party oversight, right? And so I think that is a key benefit of this technology. We all know as well, especially now in the age of AI, that digital assets can be copied, they can be forged, or they can be disputed. And typically, we haven't had an internet native way to prove originality or ownership, but that has changed with distributed ledgers. And so now we have that digital uniqueness and ownership and that traceability that we can have with digital records on the blockchain. Also, you all know that moving money and enforcing financial logic can be slow, it can be expensive, and also full of intermediaries, right? In fact, if we think about payments on the internet, I think they came as an afterthought because it was very hard to pay someone for a pizza in the early days of the internet. And then these payments API came along, but it's still very separate from the way that information flows on the internet. Whereas with distributed ledgers, now we have a frictionless and programmable way to perform value transfers, right? Value actually moves like software, it flows like information. And so I think that unlocks very interesting possibilities with DLTs, distributed ledger technologies, for new use cases. Whether you want to have, subscriptions with micropayments that are based on a per use basis, or whether you want to have automatically enforced royalties, or even machine to machine commerce. I think the doors are, or the possibilities are infinite in this area. And then typically, we've also relied so far on centralized entities to enforce agreements, and that always introduces risks, costs, and friction. And so, with this technology that we're all going to build here during this hackathon, now we can actually trust cryptography, math, and code, as opposed to having to trust intermediaries and central parties enforcing those agreements. So, this is the technology. This is the opportunity that we all have in front of us. And so Charlene is going to get into the tracks in a little bit, but there are two key opportunities that I want to highlight that I see as macro trends, mega trends that we all should take advantage of as well during this hackathon. And those are around tokenization and AI, right? And if you haven't heard about this term of tokenization, maybe you heard of it, so bear with me, but it's how we represent assets as digital representations on a distributed ledger, right? So maybe bringing a building and representing that building on a distributed ledger. And that's important because it moves these systems or information from siloed systems to these distributed and shared networks that we have. And so, what are the benefits there? The improved traceability, the improved liquidity and accessibility for these assets. And then you also have more possibilities with these tokenized assets because of what you can do once they're tokenized, right? You have programmability and composable finance um, possibilities. For example, you can take your tokenized asset and use it as collateral, or maybe perform DeFi with it. And so, just want to put some of those ideas in your mind as you think about what to do with this tokenization and DeFi track that you're going to have available, and how that's connected to a mega trend, or a big trend that we're seeing in the market. And of course, we all know that AI is here to stay. We heard before from many thought leaders that AI won't have bank accounts, but AI can access value through crypto and through Web3 and distributed ledgers. And so that's going to be a fantastic way to perform agent to agent commerce and agent to agent communications. Also, you can use blockchain and AI to combat misinformation, to improve data integrity, to improve model lineage, and improve the data integrity that goes into training and fine tuning models. So, plenty of opportunity to work with both of these technologies. And then I want this to be aspirational, right? I want to show you what are some of the things that, whether they're small teams or enterprises, what are they building with this technology today? And so, one of my favorite use cases is what Equity Lab is doing with NVIDIA and Intel, right? That putting data integrity mechanisms at the compute level so that you can have verifiable compute, a more trusted set of certificates of authenticity that are useful through AI training, through inference, and benchmarking at runtime. So, this is something that is very compelling and very necessary in the age of AI, to have that immutable set of records of what's happening with AI, what's coming out of AI. There's also a very amazing use case by Neuron, which is about putting all the activity of or drones and sensors on the blockchain so that you can have an immutable record and traceable and auditable records of all the interactions that happen between drones and ground sensors, and the flight paths of those drones, so that you can have when the disputes arise, or when a conflict arises, you have something that is backed by cryptography and math that you can audit to really understand what happened and get to the truth of and the root cause of any issues that may arise. And then there's also karate combat. So whether you're looking to build, use cases for IoT, for AI, you can also have use cases in the area of engagement and consumer loyalty. So this is what Karate Combat has done by creating a token on Hedera to drive the governance of the sports league. They compensate the fighters with this token, and they allow the users of their application, to bet on their favorite fighter with this token. So a really interesting use case to engage the masses. And then there's also possibilities in the sustainability area. So we've seen Hyundai and Kia use the Guardian, use Hedera to track the emissions associated with their activities. And so, whether you want to track emissions, carbon offsets, carbon assets, Hedera has the right tools and the right accelerators and folks that you can work with to build this type of use cases. So I showed you a few possibilities on things that you can inspire you to build, whether you want to build something small or something big, whether you want to work with one of these enterprises that are taking distributed ledger technologies very seriously, or whether you want to do it as your own startup. Now let's connect back to the technology, because you're all developers, so I'm sure you all want to get hands-on and understand what's so special about Hedera. And so I'm going to focus, there's a lot that is special about Hedera, but I'm going to focus on the technology side of things for today. So Hedera, the code base is fully open source, and the entire tech stack, the entire code base, lives today in the Linux Foundation, the Linux Decentralized LFDT, Linux Foundation Decentralized Trust. And so typically what you see here to the left is your traditional blockchain that it's a linear sequential line of blocks. It can be very difficult to scale, and in the case of proof of work chains, it's going to be very, very energy intensive. Now with Hedera, what you have to come to consensus is a graph, right? That gives a lot more scalability, performance, and throughput, and very fast deterministic finality for the network. Another thing that is very unique in terms of technology is that your fees are not going to be fluctuating based on, whether a monkey picture got popular or whether there's high demand. Those fees on Hedera are going to be fixed to the US dollar, so that you always have predictability as a business and the ability to plan ahead and forecast. And so, as a developer, this is almost invisible to you, right? Because we're also an EVM compatible network, but this is what's powering the high scalability, high performance throughput of the network. And so, if we look at it as a set of or layers, a technology stack, here's typically where that consensus algorithm lives. This is what gives all the advantages and scalability. And then you have APIs that are going to be available to you to build as developers. So, as I mentioned before, you have smart contracts. Anything that you can do on a network like Ethereum, you can do on Hedera through our EVM. And then you have APIs or services for consensus to create those immutable, auditable records that I've spoken about, and the token service that allows you to tokenize anything, whether you want to do it through smart contracts or simply with Java or JavaScript or Go in any other language. Very easy to do with Hedera. And then these are the APIs that are the foundation for you to use accelerators or build your own tools with these SDKs to serve in the verticals that align with areas like ESG, AI, decentralized identity, payments, whatever you want to build. And that's where the value is created for end users, right? There are going to be individuals, enterprises, governments, even IoT devices. So that is the view of the technology stack as different layers. And as I mentioned before, whether you want to do it with SDKs, whether you're coming from the traditional software development world, you haven't heard about the EVM or smart contracts, you can jump in very easily with these SDKs for Java, JavaScript, Go. We have like six languages or so, but these are some of the most popular that we've seen. And so here's where you see the network and the services. Here's your front end. This is a very simplified, typical architecture. Then you can have your signer and browser. Your signer would be something like Hedera Wallet Connect, and then you have APIs to transmit information from your front end to the network and so forth. And then if you're coming from the Ethereum world, if you're familiar already with smart contracts, with the EVM, all those tools that you know and love and are familiar with, you can build with those using Hedera. And so we have plenty of resources to show you how you can build, using MetaMask, how you can use building, or how you can build using Hardhat, Foundry, and some of these additional libraries and frameworks for smart contracts. All right. And so when it comes to tools, we also give you playgrounds and builders that make it very easy for you to get a sense of what it's like to work with the technology. So this Hedera Developer Playground, it's a browser-based environment that you can access through the Hedera portal. So once you create your testnet account, it's right there available to you. And that allows you to explore the different services that I talked about: the consensus service, HCS, the tokenization service, and so much more. So if you're interested in that, just simply go to hedera.com/playground. And also you have the contract builder available to you. So if you want to get familiar with smart contracts, or you want to get started deploying ERC contracts on Hedera, go to hedera.com/contract builder, and you're going to see how easy it can be to get started with smart contracts on Hedera. You can literally deploy your first smart contract in seconds. So make sure you use these tools throughout the hackathon to make your life easier. And I want to close with this slide, which is a view of all the different tools and infrastructure that you have available to you in the Hedera ecosystem. So whether you need uh, bridges, whether you need mirror nodes, oracles, and so much more, here's a great reference or a great list that you can reference at any time during the hackathon. And also be sure to use your mentors to guide you in the right direction, in the right tool, or point you in the right to the right area. Finally, as Charlene said, it's always better to build with friends, to hack with folks that you know, and maybe even people that you don't know, so you can learn from them as well. So be sure to share this opportunity with them and bring them along for this hacking journey. So, with that, I want to welcome you again to this amazing hackathon, and I look forward to working with you, hearing from you over the next 3 weeks, and see what you will build to make society better and have an impact. So, Charlene, back to you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful talk, Ed. And yeah, as you all hear, has an infinite possibility with amazing technology and code base, right? So it will be a great playground for developers. And we will be discussing more about this as we go through the hackathon details in the succeeding slides that I'm going to share so that you can kickstart your project and start working on it. Right. Okay. So we talk about the timeline. Our timeline is July for the virtual workshops. It will be July 16, 23, and 30. So as you know, last week we already had the introduction to Hedera on July 16, but I will be sharing more about this in the next slides. Yep. So what you need to take note of is the next virtual workshop, which will tackle about AI and agents. That will be on the 23rd of July. And yep, so as you can see here, I've shared a calendar subscription. You can scan this QR code so you can just easily subscribe to the calendar. It will sync into your own calendar to give you some notification or reminder when we're about to go live. And of course, it will sync with your local time. So very convenient. We really made it very convenient for developers because we know you need to focus on developing, which is the most important stuff here. Yeah. Okay, next is the Hedera Origins kickoff. So as you all know, we're all here to celebrate the opening ceremony. So now is July 21st. Okay, this is for some it's night, for some it's morning. So we all follow the Eastern time. So please take note of that. And once again, please subscribe to the calendar so that you are in sync together with your time zones and yeah, the calendar advance itself. Next is the submission deadline. It's very important as well because you all need to submit before August 8, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So hopefully, just to avoid any issues, please submit ahead of time, right? Okay, I will be discussing more about the bounties later to encourage everyone to submit earlier. Yep. Next is the AMA session, which will be happening on July 24th, 28th, and August 4th. So, just to share with you, there will be a very, very nice pace where we'll be holding this AMA session. And this is interactive. That means you can literally talk to your mentors. How amazing is that? Right? So, later on, I will be sharing more about how you can interact, how you can post your questions, and all. Yep. Next, you might be asking me when is the judging period? So that will partake from August 9 to August 29. And then we'll be announcing the winners early September. So please keep an eye on the Discord announcement and EDMs that we're going to send to the registered participants. And if you haven't participated yet, oh, sorry, you haven't registered yet, you're not a participant yet, just scan this QR code and then just click register. Yeah, very smooth. Right. Next, the overview for this is a fully virtual hackathon. So the hacking period starts now, July 21st, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And there are people who are asking us, am I allowed to hack solo? Yes, you are. But of course, once again, it will be great to hack with friends, right? So there is a maximum number of 5 members allowed per team. And yeah, once again, all the timing will be on Eastern Time, and our primary communication channel will be on Discord. So, for your convenience, I have added a QR code right here, and then you can just scan it. It will send you to our registration form. And upon registration, you will receive a Discord invite so that you can officially join the server. Okay, yes, this is the main thing. What are the main tracks and prizes, of course? So we have 4 main tracks, namely AI and agents, DeFi and tokenization, sustainability, and legacy builders. So I will just read out what I put here because I tried to summarize it so that it will be easier to understand for everyone. So, yes, for AI and agents, please build an application agent, tooling, or infrastructure that combines AI and ML. So, including the LLMs and autonomous agents with Hedera Network Services. Next is DeFi and tokenization. This you should design a solution that reimagine the finance and the asset ownership through Hedera's token service and smart contracts. So I believe Ed has shared some insights a while back on how you can participate to this. And yeah, along with this hackathon, we have mentorship. So please feel free to talk. Please feel free to ask. Next is sustainability. You can create apps that drive environmental or social impact by leveraging the Hedera's Garden and Hedera's energy efficient infrastructure. Lastly is the legacy builder. So anyone who already has built on Hedera, for returning participants, thank you so much for your support, by the way. So from the past Hedera hackathons to continue building on previous ideas or apply your experience to new concepts. But just to make sure that whatever improvement you have put into it, please document it on your GitHub. Okay, yes, this one because Hedera really loves its developers, so they have added a dev experience. This is an additional track whereby it's an optional, fully optional. It depends on you if you wanted to take this or not. But with this dev experience, they would love to see the contribution you can put into improving the Hedera developer experience. So how can you do that? So it can either be enhancing documentation, code repositories, tutorials. So tutorial videos for those creative ones. Yep, you can do that. And related resources. And the best thing is that the 10 best submission will win 1,500 each. Very good avenue for more prizes, right? Yeah, once again, this is an optional track, and I wanted to make sure that everyone knows about the policy in submitting the dev experience. So, first thing first, your first submission should be one of the main thematic tracks. Once again, this AI and agents, DeFi and tokenization, sustainability, legacy, builders. So you have to submit one of it. And then your second submission should be the developer's experience track. And to be eligible of the prize, both submission must be made by the same team. Okay? Don't share your team members. Hold them and just keep them into your team. Right. Okay, this is an exciting part. Bounties. Okay, certificate of completion. So now you're already on Hedera. Why not participate and submit a certificate of completion? And once you finish that course, you will receive $50 for it. Great, right? You learn and then you earn. How great is that? Next is proof on chain activities. So the first 200 teams, once again, the first 200 teams to submit a proof on chain activities will receive $25. So you can just scan this QR code there if you wanted to see it directly. Yep. Next is checkpoint. So calling everyone who wants to submit a little bit early. So we will reward those people. So the first 50 teams to submit their project with an eligible artifact or with an eligible project by August 6th, 11:59 Eastern Time, you will receive an additional $100. Right. Okay. Please submit. Okay. Submit earlier, guys. Next are the resources. So you might be asking, I'm first time user of Hedera. How am I going to do this? How am I going to join this hackathon? No worries. We have you in our thoughts and we put on these resources. So we have Discord. We have our hackathon website. We have hackathon listing on Dora Hacks, which are great platform, a mentorship, workshops, and AMAs. Right. So there are a lot of resources for you guys. Let me just dive into these channels. So first on Discord, there are a few channels when you join. First is Enter Hackathon. So we just wanted to make sure that everyone will get the participants role to enter the channel. And of course, the announcement where you can find all the important information that you need. So, all the upcoming AMAs, all the upcoming workshops, all the announcement and winners announcement will be put in there. So, please tune in. Next is the mentor assistance. This is my favorite. As I mentioned, I will be presenting to you who are the mentors later. But if you see these people, right? It is just amazing, guys. They're just really brilliant people. So please don't miss the chance to talk to your mentors and join our Discord and go to this channel. So in this mentor assistance channel, you will be able to talk to your mentors directly. And maybe there's a waiting time for at least 24 hours, but we will try to respond to you quickly as possible. But yeah, there are some waiting time that you would expect. Okay, next is the team formation. So for anyone who has no team just yet, you can find in this channel and just post your team and then say that, hey, I'm looking for creatives, I'm looking for a coder, I'm looking for, yeah, whatever you need on your team, you can post in there, then can find someone. Next is the general discussion. So anything about this hackathon, you can just throw it there. You can ask us. But make sure to put your questions on the right channels as well. So once again, if it's mentors, please talk to your mentors on the mentor assistance. If it's about team formation, then you can just form your team under the team formation channels. Right. And then this one is quite interesting, Hedera AI help. So, for example, you cannot find anything that you want, or you just wanted to have a quick search. You can use their Hedera AI help channel. This will support the participants during the hackathon. And there is an FAQ. So, that's a self service center. For this one, we don't allow anyone to comment. So, just take it as a reference. Next is our main website. I have shared it with you. I put a QR code here. So what you can see on our main website are this. Of course, the hackathon details, the trilogy chapters. So let me just highlight what about the trilogy chapters. So once again, we're just opening the first chapter of this trilogy, which is the origins tonight. But there will be two more hackathons that's upcoming. We call it Ascension and Apex. So please tune in to our website and our Discord as you unfold this hackathon together with us. And you'll be guided by the prizes you're going to see there, the program outline, the judging criteria, submission artifacts. Once again, the calendar, please subscribe to it. And there are also FAQs that are also available on the Discord. So we just make sure that everyone will be well guided. So you can find the FAQs on the website as well. And we have resources. So, most importantly, of course, you would need some resources, some links, some sample works. Perhaps you can go to the resources and you can also find it on the main website. So, please scan this QR code right here. Okay, moving forward, I have this hackathon listing on Dora Hacks as well. So, this is where you're going to submit your projects. We're using Dora Hacks as a platform to collect all your submissions. And you can also find team formation there. Of course, our Discord, details of the main tracks that I just shared a while back, and the additional track, the bounties, submission artifact, and hackathon rules and eligibility. Okay, and then of course the mentors. Da-da. We have AI and agents. We have Lindsay, Jake Hall, and Aegis. So please find them on the Mentors Assistance. We will be posting their Discord handle so that if you need some mentorship and you want to talk to them on that channel, you can just easily tag them. Next is DeFi and tokenization. We have Mikkel, Nadine, and Michael. So all of them were in the Hedera space itself. So it will be very great to have mentored. Next is sustainability. We'll have Giuseppe and our very own Ed. Yep. Next is legacy builders. You can see that there are a lot of people here. Yeah, so you have a great support of 5 people and 5 great people, by the way, to support you when you're doing the legacy builder. So we have Fermin, Aegis, Louise, Jake, and Ed. Yep, so catch these guys to our Mentors Assistance channel. Okay, the last but not the least, our optional and our additional track, which we call Dev Experience. We have Jake and we have Ed for this. So please tune in to our AMA so that you can have your mentorship. Okay, the workshops. I have shared a QR code here. So this is actually a calendar QR code so that it can be you can be directed to it, right? On July 16, we had our introduction to Hedera. On July 23, that's on Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll be having our Building AI Agents on Hedera. And on July 30th, we have the DeFi and tokenization. Okay, now for the AMA session. So once again, we have it on the July 24th, 28th, August 4th. So all of it will be shared and announced on our Discord, and you'll be receiving an EDM reminder about this. Now I can as you can see, I have shared an AMA form so you can scan this, and whatever you want to ask about your projects, how you want to be guided, if you want your PRDs to be reviewed, please put your questions in this AMA form and they will be reviewing it. And on our first AMA on July 24th, we will be addressing what we can address. Yep. Next is once again the calendar. I'm always selling this to you guys because I really wanted you to watch and not miss any of our events. So having a calendar subscription will be very, very helpful for everyone. Okay, maybe you're gonna ask me when is the prize disbursement. So all the prize recipients for this hackathon and about this will be contacted within 7 days after the judging period. We will try our best to reach out around these days, and the prize administration will be taken within the next 30 days after the winner's announcement. So once again, the winner's announcement will be early September. So after that, you would need to wait at least 30 days before you receive your payment. Okay, now judging criteria. So, what should you focus on so that you can win, so that you're sure that your project gets in? First is the innovation, that's 10%. Next is feasibility, 10%. Of course, the execution, you can see that it has 20%. Integration, 15%. Validation, 15%. Success of your project is 20%. And pitch is 10%. Next are the submission artifacts. We have five, but the fifth is an optional one. But please do uh, take this course and submit as your certificate. We would love to have that. First is, of course, your project's GitHub repo link. Next are the project detail, pitch deck in PDF. Guys, I just wanted to give a highlight to this because this pitch deck is very, very important. This is very important for your submission to be eligible of prize, because if you don't have this, you might get disqualified. So please take note of this and please submit your pitch deck in PDF form. Next is the project demo link, and lastly is an optional one, certificate of completion for building on Hedera course. Okay, as everyone is asking, what is the password? I want to submit already. Okay, this is the password. We have Hedera Origins 2025. So upon submission, please put this password and you're all good to go. Lastly, the AMA form QR code. Once again, it will happen on the 24th of July for anyone who wants to be mentored, who wants to ask, who wants to clarify anything. Please scan this AMA form. It will be very, very helpful during this hacking period. Okay, and I think I've reached the end of my slide. Now I can park some time to answer questions. So we will try to answer your questions now, but if not, please feel free to scan this AMA form and then just ask us anything. And we will try to, no, not actually try, we will answer your question during the AMA sessions. Ed, maybe I need your help with some of the questions.
Absolutely, Charlene. Let's see what we got.
All right. Is Hedera going to do more in publicity realm, promoting and advertising and such?
Very likely. Certainly, not my primary area, so I don't want to speak for colleagues, but I think we can expect Hedera to continue to take the spotlight. For example, trending in social media like X, also highlighting all of its accomplishments and use cases. I think that's very much something that we can expect. But in terms of uh, PR, like again, not my realm, but we'll highlight for sure any new adoption, any new use cases, and any impact that we're having out there. And of
Okay.
course, we'll highlight opportunities for developers. That's always that is my area, and that's always something that I'm more than happy to bring to the masses.
Great, sure. Thank you so much for that. And I think some of this question is something I can answer. Yeah, so I need to submit my build, but it's asking for a password. Can you tell me? Oh, I already gave the password. So the password is Hedera Origins 2025. It will be shared on Discord. It will also be sent through your EDM. So please make sure that you are registered to this hackathon. Okay? Yeah. Next is how do you submit? Okay, how do you submit a project on Dora Hack? As mentioned a while back, you will need the password, and then you can just follow through. It's quite intuitive enough to fill in the fields that are mandatory or that are required. Yep. Okay, Ed, we have here will be the pitching online.
So the pitching will most likely take place async, right? So as Charlene mentioned, make sure you submit that PDF deck. We want to see that story behind what you build, that justification, that rationale. So that's essential information that we expect to see in that pitch. Probably not going to happen online as we've seen before with things like demo days, but what you can expect is we'll see winning projects come to the closing ceremonies and give us a pitch of what they built and what they had in mind at that time of the closing ceremonies.
Okay, we have an interesting question here, Ed. Is the pitch deck made to try to attract investors?
I think that's a valid approach that you can take, and you're gonna have to balance in that pitch deck. How much information will be for a technical judge, and then I believe all those technical judges would be very interested in seeing what's the benefit for potential investors. One thing that I do want to highlight is this hackathon will have opportunities to connect with the ecosystem foundation, the Hedera Foundation, and other entities that can help you take your project to production to mainnet if you need and are interested in that kind of support. So, by all means, if you think there's a valid point, a compelling point that you can make for potential investors, included there, the judges will be interested. And then, of course, once we are able to facilitate a connection with one of the foundations in the ecosystem, that's going to be great information to have in there.
Great, thank you, Ed. Okay, um, we have here. It's quite technical, I believe. Okay, let me just check this. Oh, okay, let me answer one of it. Oh, okay. Sorry. All right, we have it here. Ed would love to learn more about how this overlaps with the EVM space. I'm currently working on supply chain and payments use case that also involves stablecoin payments.
I mean, the simple answer is it does overlap. As I mentioned before, Hedera is an EVM compatible network. So if you want to build and tackle these use cases on supply chain payments and using stablecoins, you can do that on Hedera's EVM. And so I would say it's more a matter of aligning to a specific track, whether it's the tokenization track or the sustainability track or the AI track. Um, you know Explore those opportunities, but for sure, I mean, there is alignment with the overall web3 space. I would say the EVM is more of a technology or development environment, and so you certainly have the possibility to build with smart contracts or without smart contracts if you want to explore the Hedera native route.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Ed. And I will pose the last question that we have. Once again, we will try to answer your questions via the AMA. So hopefully you have all scanned the QR code, so and you can also join the AMA session, of course. Okay, I think this one is the last one. Do we have a Hedera Guardian specific track, Ed?
So we have a sustainability track. If you remember, I mentioned the Hedera Guardian, and that is a solution in the sustainability space. So it's a workflow policy engine that you can use to, generate and track and deprecate carbon offsets and carbon assets. So if you want to build on top of that or build using the Guardian, you're more than welcome to do so. If you want to build in the sustainability track without the Guardian, you're also more than welcome to do so. So, plenty of flexibility and freedom that you have in that sustainability track.
Okay, great. Sure. Thank you, Ed. Okay, I think we have reached the end. But of course, this is not the end, it's just the beginning, right? So, see you once again, guys, to our AMA sessions and our workshop. Upcoming is the 23rd of July. Once again, subscribe to our calendars. And yeah, Ed, do you have any last words for our participants and viewers?
I'm very excited just to see what people are going to build. Remember, you have plenty of opportunities to connect with the mentors, to get support, a lot of resources to learn about Hedera and also the DLT space in general. And so please reach out, work with your mentors, join us in those AMAs, um, and join us for those workshops as well. I think those are going to be great learning opportunities. And as I said, this is just the beginning. I think it's going to be very exciting to see what connections come after the hackathon so you can stay motivated, continue building in the ecosystem. So we're happy to facilitate those connections for the best projects with our ecosystem foundations. And we also have open doors for those projects that may want to join a future chapter. So that was the whole point behind the legacy builders track, right? We want to see those projects that maybe have built in the past in a previous hackathon continue developing those solutions here, and whatever you build here will have opportunities for you to continue building that later on. So looking forward to connecting with many of you, and I hope you have fun and learn a ton and build something very compelling.
Yes, thank you for the wonderful word, Ed. And I would like to thank everyone who joined us in this session, and I hope it's very insightful for you as well. And yeah, see you, and please keep an eye on those emails, on those workshops and announcements. Yep, join us on Discord, and see you once again. Bye, guys. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone. Have a good morning, and have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
The need for a more interconnected world is fueling new decentralized technologies and new ways of doing business. Hedera stands at the forefront of distributed ledgers, where every interaction is not only trusted, but fast, efficient, and secure. While traditional blockchains struggle with speed and fees, Hedera's network settles transactions in under 3 seconds for a fraction of a penny. And the proof is in the numbers. Hedera is uniquely governed by a council of the world's leading institutions, ensuring transparency, trust, and decentralization. It's no wonder Hedera is the leading choice for enterprise and DeFi use cases. Everything from real-world asset tokenization to AI data integrity. Discover the only decentralized network with the governance, scalability, and security to power the new digital economy. What future will you build?